Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day today. In this episode, we're going to be getting into our calcining kiln and some refined fuels, because we finally got our timber figured out. I have all three of our forest farms up here working. We have over 5,000 timber saved up. It's looking really great. Happy about that situation. And over here, I also added in the 2 more oat farms here with 4 people on everybody, just so that we can get as much food as possible coming in. We have over 10,000 now. We're looking really great with that. I've had a couple batches of immigrants arrive. We have enough housing for them because you guys have pretty much been shaking me, telling me to put a marketplace in between the lake place and the original area here. And so that's what I did in between episodes. We have our marketplace set up, and it's running pretty great over here. Got a handful of houses sprinkled in here. I did the regular things. We got our chapel, we got our clinic, police station. I got a latrine over here. And up over in this space, I did put in 2 pastures full of alpaca, just for a little bit extra alpaca wool and fats. Eventually, we'll put a butcher around here someplace and really get some more meat shops coming in. The reason why I did 2 more pastures up here was because the food sources are all on the left side over here. Lots of food, we just talked about that. And then of course all of our critters over here. But there's really nothing over on this side of the world. So I threw in the pastures. My thought was if we were having efficiency problems going to the left, we'll probably have them going to the right. So I put in the pastures, and that's why. I have this designated area, this whole span right here. I want to put in a bunch of farms. So then we have food coming in on either side of the town here, which would be pretty good, I think. I also added in a transfer station over here to help move some of these goods around, mainly to go to the right there. It's just to help with the efficiency for that. And that's pretty much all I did in between episodes. We got a couple immigrant batches coming in, like I mentioned. We got some tech points. I did get one that I assigned that I didn't want to share with you where I put it. We put it here in the school expansion. The reason why I did that was to increase the student cap to +5, and then the technology output is plus 100%. And I also put in another school over here. So now we have 2 schools, only 1 student in this one, but I wanted to do that tech to increase the tech rate accumulation because it felt like it was getting a little slow. I also put in another research institute, and I also want to start dealing with Carlos so that we can start to get some rope coming in, and then we can put that in our research institutes to help hasten our tech gain as well. There's another reason why I need to visit Carlos, but let's get this administrator thing figured out first. Let's go ahead and change this. Max warmth +15, trading proficiency +1. Let's go ahead and do the trading proficiency because that's kind of what I was feeling like anyways. But with the trades, there's quite a few techs that we don't know. So that's going to be a little bit problematic for us to get into some trading stuff. Now, I probably should wait to do the trades until we have some more tech points so we can learn this stuff. But the problem with waiting is if you look, we have 0 stone here. And that shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, the issue is I have cleaned the map, on this side anyways, of all the stone and all the iron. So we are kind of stuck with no stone here until we can do some trades. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I guess I could destroy some of these houses, get some stone back, but meh, whatever. I think I'll just do the trade instead. We can't do a bridge either because look at that. We need 2 stone for that. That one, it would make sense. Just get rid of some of the houses, just demo 1 house. But like I said, I want to do the trade. So let's go ahead and we'll get this trade set up. We have 19 laborers right now, looking really good on workers. We got lots of expansion that we can get into in this episode. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to set up a caravan to visit Carlos. All right, our first caravan is set up. We have to use 6 people for this caravan to reduce the risk of death to a decent number. 3.5% is still a risk of death. Maybe I'll even bump this up to 8 people. That's kind of excessive. The reason why I want to bump it up is because we're using up almost all of the coffee beans that we have to trade to Carlos here. And we're also doing a lot of stone. So it's a lot of goods, a lot of money coming in at the very beginning of the game, I guess. It wouldn't be too big of a deal later in the game, but we can't buy insurance. We don't have the technology. So we're going to go ahead and should we just do 10? Do we have 10 people? Yeah, we'll go for 8. We're going to have 8 caravan members. Then our risk of death will be at 2%. And we'll come away with a little bit of extra money. So let's go ahead and form this. 8 people are going to go ahead and get on that caravan and head on over to Carlos. We'll see how long this takes. Ooh, almost a year, 319 days. That's a long time to have that many people gone, but we'll have a bunch more pretty close here. And we'll have a good amount of stone coming in. We'll be able to finish up these homes. This interim housing is totally empty, so we should be pretty good for these citizens here. So we are good to go now with a, well, 3rd tech point. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. But we're good to go now with our refined fuel tech and our calcining kiln. We'll go ahead and grab both those things. And, you know, while we're here, let's grab that quarry as well. So we only need 60 iron ore for the quarry, 343 in reserve. We should be able to handle that, no problem. And let's go ahead and set up some processing stuff. So for the fuel factory, we are going to need either coal or timber, and we have tons of timber, mentioned that. We have some coal. It's kind of been a little bit of a thing. I wanted to have more coal and coal be the primary fuel used to heat everything, but it doesn't, I didn't have enough people mining it to really make it that way. So we're using a lot of timber still, but that's okay. We can use that timber for the fuel factory since we're sitting so good with timber right now. We'll just have to keep our eye on it and make sure that we don't go too wild. So with our fuel factory, we're going to go ahead and we'll put one down. This is kind of our industrially area. So we're going to go ahead and put one down right in here. And let's go ahead and let's do 2 kiln factories. I'm going to go like this, one here, one here. And the reason why I wanted to do that is so that it's a little bit closer to the fuel factory here. Less travel time. And then we could also put in another storage facility over here. We do have this warehouse. It is 100% full. So we do want to have something else to store some goods. Let's go ahead and, oh, this whole back row, we could do a huge storage deal. Let's go ahead and do that. Use up the space for something good. Area is too large. Let's see if we can get it to work here for us. Okay, we got to do a little 8x3 right there. And then that looks like that's all it's going to work for us in this little area. And that's fine. We can go ahead and put in another warehouse. I want one kind of down here anyway. Oh, we have this storage. We have storage spots. We're okay, I guess. 96. Let's go ahead and we'll put a warehouse down. We'll put it right over here. All right. And now we'll wait for those things to get built up. Ooh, I didn't notice that it's going to need stone. But luckily, we have that on the way to get fixed. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and set up our quarry. These huge things. So we could go on over here. This is kind of a good spot. Wow, this fits in here perfectly. Nice. I was using this area for groves, but I think a quarry in here will be just fine as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll plop that quarry down right there. I did notice, I did put one more person in this reservoir over here. So we're sitting at 6 people over here. And now we're doing really great with our water stock. You can see here, last year we pulled in 600 buckets of water, so that's doing so much better now that we have this little area. Imagine that, people not having to walk all the way back and forth makes it a little bit more efficient, and then we get way more buckets of water. So thanks to everybody who made that comment to get that marketplace in there. That's a great idea. I'm glad that we finally did it, and we are looking pretty good. So for next, I think what we're going to do is we are going to set up some more farm fields. So we did get flax seeds recently, and I think we want to set up some sugarcane and some flax seeds over here, as well as probably some oats as well. So I'm going to put in a bunch of farms over here, and then we will start to work those farms. What I do with the marketplaces is I have these roads here on the right and on the left, and that's to just kind of give me a visual of where the border of the radius is for our marketplace, so I don't build in here, basically. So on this side of the road, I'm going to build in here, and we'll put some farms up in here. But before that, I did see that we had some immigrants arrive, so let's go ahead and we'll grab those people. They're going to go ahead and get settled, and I am going to set up some farms over here. Okay, there we go. We got our farms laid out. I did do 6 in each row, so we have a total of 12. We'll get this cleaned up here, and then we'll go ahead and designate some workers. I also put in a warehouse over on this end, and then we have a transfer station down south here to help move all these goods around. I may even do a couple more warehouses maybe on the right side here, because this is kind of a long walk to go all the way over here to turn into this warehouse. So I may do another transfer station, another warehouse, maybe down over here in the corner. And then these mountains right here are looking really prime for a couple mines. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do, we'll use a new handy search feature, and we're going to go ahead and say mine. And there we go. We got our mine. We have it facing the correct way, and then we'll go ahead and we'll plop that down right there. And, ooh, nice. We got 2 in there, and we should be able to get a handful more mines in this little space right here. So it looks like 4 mines. That's really great. We'll go ahead, of course, and tie in a road in there, and we will attach it to that end. So this transfer station is going to be able to get half those mines. That's looking okay. So also with the farms here, I want to catch these before it uses all of our people. What I think I'm going to do is, we'll go back to our collection here. I have the flax seeds and the sugarcane seeds and then the oat seeds. So those 3 things that what we wanted to build in here. So I'm thinking we'll do, well, we could do 3 of each. Or maybe we do 4 oats, 2 sugar canes, and then 4 flax. We'll set it up like that. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Just so that it's a little bit evenly distributed. And we'll be able to start hauling in some good stuff. I would like to be able to process that sugar cane into sugar. And then we'll be able to do that. But we're a little bit out from that. I need a couple more points to get down to sugar refining. And we haven't quite gotten that far yet. The mill would also be a good thing to get. Of course, I want all the things, and we'll do some kind of processing over here with the sugar, and then maybe we'll make some beer or something over here, and we'll kind of probably use this little space right in here. It looks pretty good size for all those buildings. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that once we get those techs. Go ahead and remove those people out of there again, and we'll just wait for this to get built up. In the meantime, let's go check on our caravan, see how close they are coming back. Oh, we have... Ooh, almost here, about 50 days, so they'll be here shortly. That'll be good. And we can start finishing up some of these other buildings. I'm going to pause these houses. I don't know exactly how much stone we're hauling in here, but I don't remember. Let's see if we can look. 220. Yeah, so not a lot of stone. So this would be 40, that's 80, 160 right here. So that's going to use up a large chunk of our stone. Oh, our quarry is good to go. We don't have to worry about it. Let's go ahead and we'll get this started. I am going to leave the 5 workers in there for now. We aren't going to probably use that much stone, but to get caught up, we'll go ahead and we'll leave the 5 workers in there. And now that we have 19 laborers still, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more people into the iron mine. And then let's also put a couple more people as coal workers, and we'll go ahead and do that. And you can see here's our caravan pulling into town just on time, looking pretty great. And we'll see what our rep looks like with Carlos as well. So this is the only place that we were growing those coffee seeds, and we only have 220 left. So what I may do is go ahead and add in another grove, and we'll be able to grow some more coffee or something else. I'm not certain what all seeds are going to work for the grove. So we'll go ahead and we'll divide it out like that. We got 4 more orchards on the way. And over here, let's go check this out. Make sure that we got our people knocked out of this. And our caravan is back from visiting Carlos. Good. So let's check the factions here. How close did we get? Almost halfway with Carlos. That's pretty good. What do we get for money? We're looking at 1,200 silver coins. So this has moved. It was over here before. It's now on the left. Tailor scrap. The tailors in town sorted out the leftover scraps and some old clothes that could no longer be worn. Although they could not be made into decent clothes, the tailors could still reuse these materials to make simple clothes or backpacks that can be put to use. We're going to make some backpacks. More carry weight, and we are doing pretty good with clothing, so we don't really need another one. But speaking of which, I noticed that our tooling is now in the red, so we should find our blacksmith here and bump up the worker, and we'll see if that's going to be good enough. We may need to put in another smithy, and I'm thinking we could put it down over in this space, just because it's a little bit more closer to this other stuff that's over here. So we'll put that smithy down right there. I'll throw in a warehouse for good measure. And while we're at it, we may as well put in a tailor as well. New tech point acquired. All right, so we have the +1 tech point now. What we could get into, we were just talking about the trade stuff. So we could go into insurance here. We did grab the quarry. Yep, that's good. I'm not going to go quite into smelting yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's check these out real quick. I'm thinking about grabbing travel light here. This says after being trained, caravan workers contain the same risk of death. That doesn't really make sense. So I'm thinking what this is going to say is that the risk of death doesn't change, but the number of workers required decreases, but the trade still takes longer time with the same number of workers. So the trade-off being fewer workers, but the risk of death stays the same, but the trip takes a little bit longer. So I think we're going to go ahead and grab travel light. Well, I like the risk of death being as low as it can be. Since it's the beginning of the year, let's go ahead and pause and we'll get these farms set up. Every one of them is built now, so we can go ahead and designate some things. So we're still looking really good with food here. Let's just check our oat stock, and yeah, we're making pretty good extra. So it's not going to be super critical for some oats. So I'm just going to put in like 2 oats for now. And then over here, and the next one over, let's go ahead and we'll do a couple flax. And then the next 2, let's go ahead and do some sugarcane. So not quite as full as I had thought previously, but we don't really need to be. So we'll go ahead and fill these all in. And that leaves us with only 4 laborers left. So that'll be okay. We'll see what we can do with that. If we have to, we'll take those workers out of there. It's not that huge of a deal to have those farms operating at this time. Oh, select your administrator, Belinda or Adrian. Obtain attack point, interval between immigrants' arrival, minus 10%. Ooh, this is probably the hardest choice that we've had to make in a while in an administrator. And I'm I'm tempted initially here to go for the tech points, but I think in the long run, the interval between immigrants' arrival will be more beneficial to us. The tech point is just kind of an impatient thing, so we don't really need that. We'll go ahead and we'll increase the interval of arrivals. We have our fuel factory completed. Let's go ahead and set that up. Refined fuel, timber, coal. Let's go ahead and let that go. So that means our stones arrived safely and they got put into the building. So those are all good to go. These houses didn't quite get built up yet. Oh, let's go ahead and activate that latrine. Oh, I noticed something with the latrines. I should mention this. So this one is up here and it's a decent size area of effect, but it ignored all these ones down here, all these houses down here. So I did put in an additional one to make sure that we grab all the houses. I want to be able to make sure that we get the poop taken care of out of those homes, because definitely don't want that hanging around. I'm not sure if the latrines are going to help with health. I'm wondering if maybe you don't get that stuff cleaned up, if maybe diseases occur more often. I'm not sure that if that was added or not. That might be something to add in the future. I'm going to go ahead and take these people out of the grove. I am going to designate this as coffee, though, and I'm just going to hold up with that. Kiln factory is good to go. Let's go ahead and get some bricks started. How are we looking for clay? 753. Excellent. Go ahead and get that going. We, of course, are waiting on some fuel from the refined fuel factory before we can run the kiln factory. We're just going to have this sit for a little bit, waiting for that fuel to get completed, and it'll be over there shortly. So then we'll start getting bricks, and that'll be a very, very important thing to get. Kind of starting getting into the middle tier of the game finally. It took a little while to get there, but I feel like this is the right time to do it. If we go too early and we don't have enough timber to run things, it just doesn't, well, it doesn't run very well. So I wanted to wait until we got timber figured out really good, and now we are looking really great with timber. Well over 7,000, so I'm happy about that situation. Water's looking good, food's looking good. We're still in the, we still don't have any stone. Well, now we have a few stone, right as I said it, of course. So we're getting there. We're on the right track, but it looks like our tools are in the red. Textiles, this would be those backpacks that we got. So we're almost through half those already. But the tools, we obviously need to build that other smithy, which is over here, waiting on some stone. So we're back to the point where we're waiting for some stone. If I had a couple more laborers, I would probably send another caravan to Carlos. Maybe we should put the those people that we set up in the farm over to Carlos here after this season, and we'll go ahead and we'll set that up, send it back over to Carlos, and we'll probably sell some coffee again. And I don't know what we should buy. Maybe we should visit Rania and start setting up that cycle where we go to Rania, purchase cats, go to Carlos, sell the cats. We should check. Maybe they changed that. So cats was our thing. And it looks like it's still about the same. So purchasing cats, looks like I have to type it in again. I didn't keep my search parameters. Buying cats for 850 and selling the cats for 1050. So we're making 200 a cat. I think that was the same as before. So yeah, we'll probably go ahead and visit Rania. We'll sell some coffee to her and we'll get some cats. And then we'll come back, go visit Carlos, sell those cats to Carlos, make a little bit of money, and we'll keep doing that cycle. but we'll have to wait until we get some more immigrants, and I'll probably set that up in between episodes. But for now, I think that'll be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Settlement Survival, and I hope to see you on the next one. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night.